Hello everyone. In this video, I will be briefing you about FIN5063-1W6A, which is all about a report on creating wealth from debts and investments. The document starts with describing what is wealth, and it discusses about different types of tools, elements that are important in creating wealth. Say, for example, it speaks about dividends and long term debt and investments and their role in development of wealth for the organization. It is very important for you to refer the book that is given here and see, this is the link given here. Press Control and click on the link. It will redirect you to the textbook link. Okay, so this is like Google Drive link. Download the book and read about all these concepts from the book, and make sure you write from the book. That's very important. And as it is mentioned here, it is always important that you quote reference book here. Okay, in the references, uh, referred book should be quoted. All right. So now let's understand the topic. So in the context of corporate finance or financial analysis, what is wealth that has to be discussed? Okay, so what is the wealth and how wealth will be created? What are the options that we have to create wealth and the different aspects you can discuss. It's all up to you how you discuss about it. You are supposed to define what is wealth and how it will be created. Next, the second section is this is the introductory section, write in 200 words hardly. The next section and next three sections, second section, third section, fourth section should be long. So let's understand second section. It's all about dividends and investments, how they play into the organization growth that has to be discussed. It is very important that you mention mathematical reasoning. Means you are supposed to provide formulas, but whatever the examples you quote and discuss, that should be very descriptive. Means, say for example, if you say that uh, how we calculate dividend is equal to something. If you include that equation, after that, whatever the values you mentioned, need not to provide any mathematical calculations. You should be descriptive. It's like if you take 100 shares of a certain cost, it will be providing maybe 10% of dividend every year, like that. You can discuss. Okay. So it should be very descriptive. No calculations should be performed, but the mathematical reasoning should be there. So to address the section 2, these are some important points that you should cover. Need not to give any headings as it was given here. You can give your own headings. So for this section also, so make sure you give your own heading which exactly explains the topic. Okay, so don't give exact question or like that. Give a proper heading for this also. Like whatever the sections that are mentioned here, it should be your own heading and it should be meaningful heading. Okay. So next one is what is dividend and how it is calculated. What is its impact on the organization in creating wealth that has to be discussed. Usually, like when we take certain number of shares in the organization, for that investment, organization will be paying certain dividends. Okay, the dividend value like impacts the investors mind. It pulls investors to invest in the organization. Okay, so dividend is the amount that will be shared like after the calculating what is the amount of profit that organization get, that will be distributed among the all shareholders. Like certain amount of profit of the organization will be shared among the all investors of the organization. So the value will be very minute, but for each share they will be giving certain amount of dividend. That definitely influences. Say for example, if I take one share from the organization, if I'm going to get this much dividend as return every year, so definitely the value might be impacting my opinion to investing in the organization. Say for example, there are two organization. One company is paying larger dividend and one company is paying some value less than the what other company is paying, what happens? Then we go for the company that is paying larger dividends. Okay, so that is how we calculate the dividend value will impact the generation of investments. So discuss what is dividend and how what is the formula of calculating dividend and how it is calculated, in what way it will be impacting. Then you should quote certain example. Take two company names, realistic company names. Mention what is the value of dividends they are paying. So when those two companies are taken into consideration, what kind of decision the investor might make. Okay, so how the dividend value is influencing the generation of investment. See, organizations need investment to ensure that their day-to-day operations are conducted. They can invest in, they can spend that investment on new projects, new product developments, and creating larger volume of wealth for the organization. So, investments are very much important for the organization. In order to get that investment, the return that we create on investment should be high. Otherwise, like considering this aspect, the dividend that it will be generating should be high. Got my point? Okay. So make sure you clearly provide proper examples and proper explanation on the topic. The next one is investment. And see, usually when we evaluate investment, we consider net present value, NPV of the investment that we made and how it will be impacting in future. Okay, so let me take this one. So make sure you discuss net present value definitely. Then among other options, see, net present value is the mandatory topic. Okay, this has to be reviewed to understand which investment is good. Say, for example, we have three companies or like three different projects on which I want to invest my money. Okay, so based on the NPV value, the decision will be made by the organization. Whatever the company is having a larger NPV value, and it should be greater than zero, and it should be larger value when compared to other project. That project will be selected first, even if it is having return on investment high, internal rate of return is high, so they are least bothered when compared to net present value. So net present value is the most important element to evaluate investments. Okay, give a formula that speaks about net present value and how the net present value will be impacting the investments that are generated by the organization. Okay, so that has to be clearly discussed. In addition to the net present value, take any one other example from these points, any one value, return on investment, internet, anything from these values, and discuss about that factor on factor and its impact on investment with examples, the same way that we did for earlier topics. All right. So in this way, we will be discussing about section 2. All right. Properly plan your sections because see, whatever the 1500 words that we are writing, that should be divided among these sections. So my suggestion is for this one, write 200 words. It will be like in introduction. Then these three sections are very crucial. So do one thing. This is for conclusion should be 100 words. And these sections, this one, it should be maybe 600 words. So plan your document like this. You can write more than 500 words, but not less than 500. So ensure that you complete it in plus or minus 500 words. Okay, there are two important sections, and in the investment section there are two parts that has to be written. Okay, so next go to the debt, long term debt and its impact. So let me restructure this one. Plan your document like this. Dividends and investments should be in 600 words. And the section 3 and section 4 is related to long term debt. These two sections should be written in 600 words in total. Okay. So long term debt, what is long term debt? Usually, like it's a long term debt means it is taken for longer period. Say, for example, say if you took a capital investment of maybe it's a larger value also. maybe $1 million. If it's a small organization, you took investment of $1 million, and if you want to return that amount in 20 years, that will be considered as long-term debt. So for that company, they will be taking larger amount, and they will be returning that money in shorter EMIs, very small EMIs, like the way we take a home loan kind of thing for 20 years, 30 years, like that. Okay, see, organizations, in order to support its day-to-day activities and to invest in new projects and for growth of the organization, they definitely need long-term debts. So without long-term debt, it is highly difficult for the organization to grow bigger. So, for example, a small-scale industry can be developed into medium-scale industry only when it can get a proper investment from the investment banking kind of thing. Without that amount, it is not possible for the organization to invest in future endeavors. So, because see, the organization may be creating larger profits, but that profit is not enough to grow bigger. So, for example, if you want to create a new branch, it definitely need equal capital investment. It was done for the original main branch. Okay, so to create the new branch and to like recruit new people, definitely they need some larger value of debt, and that should be returned. The company should be given enough time to return that debt. That is how things happen. Okay, see, here we are speaking about long-term debt and its a role in creating capital structure of an organization. So this has to be exclusively discussed and provide neat examples related to that one. Okay. So next one is potential growth and innovation of an organization. So how long-term growth? See, potential growth, how the company can grow or create innovations, innovative products. See, all projects cannot become successful, but at least to perform on those projects, it is always important to have certain funds available. These funds can be created from the long-term debt. Got it? So to grow bigger, see, every product, whatever the product we invest, create now, that might get saturated in certain period of time. So to ensure that the sustainability of organization is created, it is always important for the organization to invest in new products or upgrade the existing products, improvise their services. So there will be different elements that the organization has to focus to ensure that organization get growth. Say, for example, if you don't have human resource department, I have to recruit a few people and few HR people so that I can take forward the human resource activities of the organization. If machineries are needed for the production team, so I have to purchase we have to, as a company, we have to purchase them. So for all these things, without those machineries, potential growth cannot be achieved. New machines are required to increase the production. Without increasing the production, it is not possible to get increased sales. So this is how things happen. So always debt. Long-term debt means like the money that is generated from the debt by the organization for longer term. That is always important for organization to ensure growth. Okay, so please, please do extensive research and find appropriate information related to that and quote good examples. Okay, so quote good examples and complete the document. So, and finally, like what you learn from the document that has to be discussed in conclusion. Okay. So here, as a part of references, make sure you include textbook reference that is given below. And in addition to that, you are supposed to add any two references from the external sources. It can be from journals or textbooks or from any online articles. So make sure you write it from journals and textbooks. Okay. So this is all about the document. I hope you understood. This is a more theoretical document than practical one, but examples has to be discussed in mathematical reasoning. That is very important. Okay. So I hope you understood the topic. Do well, and I want a fine document that is completed by you. Thank you very much.